I'm injured, unmotivated, afraid. Here's where I actually am right now. I want to show you something right now. That's KT tape. It's put on this morning, and when I did, I almost cried. Not because of the pain, but because of what it meant. Literally, not again. Look, I have a YouTube channel where I talk about running slow, building an aerobic base, the Maffetone method. And I've made videos about running 90 days experiments, 60 days, 30 days, Maffetone results, running 50 miles through the trails, 100-mile weeks, tips about running, everything about running, heart rate training. And right now, I can't even run. I thought about not making this video because when you talk about running and you're not running, you feel like a fraud. But then I thought, the most honest thing I can do right now is to show you exactly where I am. Not the highlight reel, nothing like that. This is the real thing. So here it is. 6 years of MAF training. The full story, the highs, the lows, the knee, the dark places, and where I go from here. This is that video. To understand where I am right now, you need to know where it all started. 2016, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, Marathon Day in November. I trained hard and I believed I had put in everything I needed. I was chasing a Boston qualifying time, 3 hours, 10 minutes. And all of my training had gotten me to the point and I thought I was there.
Hey guys, we are here at the Hamilton Marathon and I've got my good buddy David Waters. He is training for the Boston Marathon, so this is a qualifying leg. And so this is huge for him. A lot of preparation, so inspirational. I love it. Race day's here and just gotta trust all my training. I put in all the work and we're about 15 minutes to race time. Sometimes it happens. You gotta walk. Start cramping up. Quads starting to give out on me. And then my breathing. I got a cold, like it's kind of in the chest, and it's hard to breathe. And about, probably about kilometer 19, it got really bad. And it just kept squeezing. And yeah, so Boston's obviously out for this run, but it'll happen. Just gotta keep plugging forward. I'll finish this. It just took us all tapped, and we'll just keep doing what we gotta do. So get there. Live to run another day. Absolutely.
That was the goal. That was the whole reason for the race. But a week before race day, I got sick. But I thought I recovered. I thought that I had hydrated my way back up. I lined up on that day, on that start line, and I told myself that I was ready, but I wasn't. Halfway through, I was out of electrolytes. I was dehydrated. I was hitting the wall. I'd never hit the wall before in my life, and it was brutal. I went from running to literally hobbling. I just couldn't run. And it is at that particular kind of suffering, your body has nothing left, and you still have 20 kilometers to go. I didn't quit. That matters to me. It made me, I made a decision to run as far as I can, and then walk, run, then walk, then run. I finished in 4 hours and 15 minutes. It's a long, far cry from 3 hours and 10 minutes. But at the finish line, I felt every emotion possible at once. The pride of finishing and the grief of knowing that it wasn't what I was built for. Maybe this isn't going to work. And then, for a long time after, I didn't really want to run anymore. I came up with excuse after excuse. One day, then 2 weeks, then months, and then years. My fitness disappeared and my weight came back. I had lost 100 pounds, but it all started to come back and my mood started to go down a dark road. And that's when I found the Maffetone method. And that's when the whole journey began after I ran with some friends of mine, and I didn't like the selfie picture that we took. I didn't like who was looking back at me. I didn't like how I felt. I couldn't keep up with everybody. I was a mess. I was starting all over again. That was September That was September 2019. That was the time I committed to MAF training, and I did the 180 minus my age. That was my formula. One number, my aerobic ceiling, stay under it, do every run at that number, do a monthly test, be patient, be consistent. Look, I went out for my first MAF run, and it was 8 minutes, 34 seconds per kilometer. And this is what it is in miles. I had never run that slow in my entire life. I was walking sections to keep my heart rate down. It felt wrong. It felt embarrassingly slow. But I stuck with it. Day after day, I went back out and I kept doing it. And slowly, not dramatically, but consistently, the numbers started to move. They started to shift. The pace at the same heart rate started coming down. Month by month, that 334 then lowered and then lowered again. And by the time a year had passed, I was running 5 minutes and 34 seconds per kilometer faster at the same heart rate. 3 minutes faster without any speed work. Well, okay, I did 4 speed sessions, but that's not a small thing. That's the Maffetone method working exactly the way it's supposed to work. And now I had a race to prove it on. That was my 50-mile ultra marathon. 2020, my race got canceled. It was a 100K trail race. Pandemic wiped it out, and I had the best fitness that I had in a very long time, and I had nowhere to use it. So I made my own race. I designed a 50-mile route along the Bruce Trail through the Boyne Valley, and it was going to be awesome because I mapped out the course my entire self, and I ran it on sections, and I trained on it, and I ran it with some support from my friends and my family on that race day. My average heart rate for that entire 50 miles was 136 beats per minute. And that run is the proof of everything I believe about the Maffetone method. But here's what I didn't talk about in that video. The morning after that run, I could barely move. Physically, guys, I was broken. Every step was a negotiation, okay? Mentally, I was so depleted, making a simple decision literally felt impossible. And, I didn't sleep well that night. I just lay there exhausted. My mind was just racing, but it came at a cost. That run is proof of everything that I believe in this method. However, I did get back to running, but I came back too soon. And that's the honest truth. I was on riding a high from what I achieved, and I didn't respect what it had cost me. I started running again before my body was ready. And in 2021, my knee gave out. I had a meniscus strain, months of driving for work, hours spent in a car, my foot on a weird, awkward angle on the gas pedal. And, my body hadn't fully recovered from that 50 miles. And I remembered the moment like it was yesterday. Like I realized I was injured. The frustration was overwhelming. And I thought I was invincible. I thought that I had earned that. But here's the thing. My body was telling me something I wasn't ready to hear. My gait was off. My movement was compensating literally everywhere across my whole entire body. It took me 6 months of work with my chiropractor, from acupuncture to sound wave therapy on my body to get my body back into alignment. 6 months of not running. 6 months. This is part of the story that I want you to pay attention to, because if you've watched my channel and you think the journey from 2019 to now has been a straight line of progress, it hasn't at all. 2021 was my knee. Most of that year, literally not running. 2022, I came back. I started 30, 60, 90 days of running streaks. I rebuilt the base again, started seeing results again, and I felt epic to be back. And then 2023, for some reason, I fell off the wagon again. 2024 was a little bit better, and earlier on in the year, the running consistency was there, feeling strong again. But then 2025, life hit hard, and I'm not going to go into all of the details of family health issues we were dealing with, but let's just say that, but what I will say is that every spare hour of energy I had went into other people, being present for the people that I love. And there was nothing left of me or for me. Running was the first thing to go. And when running goes, I feel it. My wife feels it. My daughter feels it. They can tell even before I can. My mood shifts. I get irritable. I go to some dark places and I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and the people closest to me see it. My wife has always been there, has been my biggest cheerleader. She tells me to get out and run even when I don't want to. Even though when I know it's good for me, she gets me going. My daughter asks me when she comes home from work if I've been out. Not that because they want me out of the house, it's because they know what running does for me. Running makes me a better human, a better husband, a better father, a better friend, a better version of me. That's what it does. And when it's gone, everyone notices. So here's where I actually am. KT tape on my knee. Motivation hitting some pretty low points right now. Early mornings are hard, right? The time I need to run is before work. And right now, that window feels really impossible to find. February and March of this year, I started to see some results coming back. A little bit more consistency. You know, I was running up in Collingwood and my MAF pace was improving. It was getting more consistent. It felt like it was like the beginning of something. And then April hit, and now May, knee issue came back, and not from running this time, which is almost as frustrating. It's more frustrating, actually. It's life. The body is literally finding the weakness again. That's where I am. When I put that tape on this morning, seriously, guys, I almost cried. It was hard because I know this feeling. I've been there before. And that voice that says your best days are behind you, the voice gets a little louder when you're sitting with a taped knee, wondering how to come back again. And I know that voice is wrong, but it's still hard to listen to it. Now, someone left me a message in the comments section of my channel years ago, and it stayed with me ever since. They said, Dave is right. The Maffetone method is the fountain of youth. And you know what? I believe that. I generally believe that. But right now, sitting here, I have to remind myself to actually believe it. Because the fear isn't really about the knee. The fear is about getting injured again and never being able to get back to where I was before. The fear of getting older and the feeling of my best running days seem like they're receding. The fear of being someone who talks about running but can't run. That's the honest truth of where I am right now, where I am today. But here's what 6 years has given me that I didn't have before. I know I am stronger than I think I am. I've run 100-mile weeks. I've strung together 30-kilometer days back to back. I've run 50 miles alone through the trails. Nobody is looking, nobody is watching, and nobody has asked me to, and nobody cares. Running on my own time, running for me. And when my body was about to give in on that trail, somewhere around the 30-mile marker, somewhere in the middle of that day, I found a second gear. And that second gear exists. I know it does because I've been there. So when things get hard now, when the tape is on, which it is right now, and the motivation is gone, and the voice is loud, I think about that day and I think 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do the thing, Dave. Get up and go. I also know this. A good run now isn't about pace. It's about getting out the door. It's about heart rate. It's about time on feet. That's it. That's all it ever needed to be. Everything else follows that. And I know when I get back, and I will get back, this isn't the end of me. I won't be comparing myself to where I was before because that comparison is the enemy of progress. You have to be where you are in the present. And now it's called the present. The moment is called the present for a reason. It's a gift. My happy place is in the Boyne Valley. It's in the trail system at sunrise, early summer, air is crisp and starting to warm up. Running down to the river, running through it, and splashing water on my face. That to me is epic, and it's keeping me going. That's what I'm waiting for. That moment will come true, and I will get back to it. I know, because I've been there before, and I'm a fighter. I'm sharing this because I think you may need to hear it. Not the highlight reel, not the 50 miles, not the math tests where the numbers go down. This taped knee and the hard mornings and the fear of the comeback. Because if you've been following this channel and you're going through your own version of an injury or a break or a period of life where everything just feels like it's falling apart and running was the first casualty, I want you to know you're not alone. I'm in the middle of a pack runner. I'm getting older. I fall off the wagon. Life gets in the way. Injuries happen. It's part of running. And I keep coming back because running makes me a better person, a better husband, a better father, a better friend. It's my happy place. It's where I am most myself. And no injury, no hard year, no loud voice going on to take that from me permanently. Thanks for watching, and like I always say, get out and run.